Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to HIMediaTV. I am your host of HIMediaTV, and welcome back to the Psychedelic Space Cadet. I'm sorry for the hiatus. Both me and Mariah here have been going through some shit. And we came to a determination. This podcast serves as a vessel of information from Miss Sterling's lips here to your ears. Now, that being said, one of the things that we wanted to focus on is instead of rambling inanely, we're still going to do that occasionally, is Mariah wants to be a little more deliberate with the information brought forward, right? Am I incorrect in that assessment, Mariah? So, not this week, but starting next week, Mariah is going to keep an eye on things that happen in her life, lessons from the past, goings on in the media, and she's going to be using those as a jumping off point to talk about what she thinks of them, her feelings on it, why people may be wrong or stupid or not particularly smart in a way that just so you can understand how to move better and make moves like her.
And I wouldn't necessarily say better, but just different perspectives. There's times where obviously a lot of our thought processes feel like they're set in stone. You can know how you would react to one thing or the other, but getting a different viewpoint on it gives you unlocks more options. And what I've learned recently is freedom equates to the amount of options that you have. I mean, if you're locked up in jail, obviously you don't have any options. It's very limited, and so your freedom is therefore limited. But if you have,
There's still options in prison.
but freedom,
Yeah,
it's limited because
true.
your actual freedom is limited. So your options in there are limited, and so therefore your freedom is. But you have unlimited amount of money or resources or whatever. The more options that you have, the more freedom you have. And to me, that's one of the most important things is the freedom to do what I want to do. So not necessarily better, but potentially freeing people from that one track mind when it comes to how to handle or approach certain things just because exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But that's pretty accurate, pretty spot on.
So, for today, in just a more simple way, today we are going to be taking a trip down memory lane. The names of which will be changed to nicknames to protect the names of the innocent. That being said, those unredacted podcasts are never going to see the light of day, but they're so much fun to make.
Censored version is it's pretty deep,
It gets
but
so
the,
fucking deep. But
yeah,
everybody
it's
going to
juicy.
jail. Everybody's
Yeah,
going to jail. Not look,
if
me, I'm not. Mariah's not. But the people that will kill us will be.
yeah, if motherfuckers thought that T app was bad, it's
God. You know what? There's your fucking topic for go into why the T app was a terrible idea that was paved with good intentions.
all right. So terrible idea. I'll start with the fact that people are going to be people, right? Information, say it all the time, is just another form of currency. The more you can use it. So knowing as much as you can about the person that you're involved with, you would think would be very useful for yourself so that you can make the necessary choices and decisions as to whether to keep them around or move on to something. So the T app, in the sense of trying to do some good, is how you get to know these different things. Is your man out there talking to other bitches? Or you got this? How's this person? That all of that shit, information currency.
Well, you didn't necessarily
But
have anything to worry about because it was for straight people.
on top of the fact that I'm not on no social shit, anyways. Even I knew obviously I wouldn't have anything to worry about. I'm just talking about like Gen Pop as far as the women are concerned. So the more information, better decisions. But people are people. Like, you have people that are in full blown marriages or long lasting relationships and think that they know everything there is to know about
Their
their
partner.
significant other, their partner, but come to find out you don't, and you never will. You're just building up your own sense of anxiety when it comes to this person because of the unknown. And so before the T app, like, you just didn't know. You only knew what you did, and you just had to live with that. And whether, depending on the type of person you were, if you're a jealous type or skeptical, always thinking somebody's up to something type of thing, well, then you're ready to live with the side effects of that, or you're just the oblivious type, and it's just like, oh no, if that person says that's what they're doing, and that's what they're doing. Both still in the realm of the unknown, because even the skeptic can't prove it, because if they could, then they wouldn't have to be skeptical. You'll just know the facts of it. So
Exactly.
you never really actually know. And on top of the fact, I don't know. And it's funny because it is straight females, and they're always like, oh, men ain't shit and blah blah. Like, you only got so many options, especially if you're straight. If men ain't shit and you go on this app and you're like, oh, all of them are trash, then what the fuck are you gonna do? Continue to fuck with these men that you say ain't shit? It's not going to change, not a goddamn thing. It will only change out the partner that you have at the time. Maybe either you decide to work things out if something does come to light, or you'll swap over to somebody else who probably ain't shit. And I'm not saying all guys are bad. That is not the case. Nobody's relationship is going to be perfect, in a sense where you just find the person that just checks off everything and is under your complete control and power and does everything that you like and how you like it. It's not going to happen. But you can definitely get to a more balanced out relationship where it's not like, it's more give and take and not so much you're just compromising yourself, your core, your values, all of that for the sake of keeping this person around. So it's just, like I said, nothing's gonna change from it outside of, say, maybe a swap off, and then everything is just gonna go back to normal. I saw that all of their information's been hacked and leaked out, so there you go. If that's
Yeah.
anything that anybody else was interested in, it's just another data breach.
Can I just say for the record, as a T guy, that, and as someone who's relatively politically active, obviously the T app was self-selecting. The types of people that would do some shit with that were going to sign up for it in the first place. Obviously, that the people that are 4chan Groiper Nazi red pill incel types, that they've already made it in a free app with the addresses of every woman that was in the leak. And these women are going to be terrorized, and they're not going to get, and they're not. And well, here's the thing, I'm not against the T app, and I wasn't against the T app because I hate with women and the women having a space where they're basically talking shit and lying about men and shit. I don't give a fuck about that. I dislike the T app because it was antisocial behavior, and that it comes down to, I'm a big believer in community. I'm a big believer in not being as closed and giving people the benefit of the doubt. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
Men are fucking awful, and I understand it, but
and obviously, benefit
yeah.
of the doubt plays a big part in just anything. Every decision is a risk, is a gamble, because it could go one way or the other, and you don't really know. Do you base it off of your intuition and what you feel like your gut is saying, or what somebody else is saying, or benefit of the doubt? So
I'm just gonna say this. We're two people that like women. Like, we're two people that actually like women and femininity and women as people, things of that nature. I hear jokes sometimes where gay people say, "Are the straights okay?" And I have to wonder that too. Because
it's a definitely in a tizzy right now.
yeah, because like, gender war stuff does not make sense to me.
And
in regards to this back and forth like this of men and women as these monoliths being all hating one another, but also craving each other and all this shit. It's annoying. I just don't get it.
It,
It's like these girly pop podcasts that spend all day shitting on men and these fresh and fit alpha male type podcasts, which I'm gonna be honest, let the girlies have their bullshit gossip podcast. I don't really give a fuck. But I hear these men say things about women that make my skin crawl.
well,
It
that
crawls.
that right there, when you said it made me think about the whole DL thing, right? So
Right.
just a month or so ago, there was a lot of people, mostly guys, getting exposed for partaking in down low activities, right? Whether it was just full on, just literally taking it, or just certain
I'm just
things
like
that will make you
just like
question it,
and
right?
you're shitting on these guys. I'm just like you're with a self-hating bisexual man.
Right. And the thing is, like, going back to the whole information being currency type of
Mhm.
thing, I think that when the whole exposure of really heavily on DL people and specifically was a thing, it kind of blurred that line as far as it's men versus women and then or the straights versus gays. But like, there's traits and activities that fall in the middle part of that Venn diagram. There's going to be things on the polar sides where it's more primarily just for one or the other, and then you'll see how one can trickle into the other, even as far as preferences when it comes to what happens in between the sheets. Somebody could enjoy certain action or whatever, and to maybe like Gen Pop or traditionally, it's like, oh, that person isn't supposed to enjoy that because that makes them this way or that way. But that person may not be attracted to the opposite sex. So even though it may come off, oh, nah, that's gay, it's not as black and white. It's not just straight this or only that. It's melting. Obviously, there's certain stuff that like people are just like, nah, that's where I draw the line. It's the boundaries, but it's not as clear cut as people make it seem. And I've also learned that as far as my interaction with women and especially straight women, like I'll talk to these women the same way that I'll talk to any woman, regardless of it, because to me, I already assume that a chick is probably straight. I'm not going in trying to like figure out
You've
which
got a
one,
90 to 95% chance that that is probably straight.
or at least to her knowledge, right?
Right.
At least to her knowledge. So I don't even go for the guessing game because I don't care. Because what I have learned is that people don't even know about themselves as much as they think they do. So you're using T apps and exposing people for this and that, and then come to find out, she's like, "Wow, I've never felt this type of way or been attracted to a female or even had these type of thoughts or anything my whole entire life until I met you." So what does that make you at this point? Now what? Are you really straight? You've been straight this whole time. You've been adamantly. Have you ever? And now this is a thing. So what do you make of it? And that's just everything. That's all of it. It's not as
Ladies
clear
and
cut
gentlemen, I just want to
as it comes.
remind everybody that Mariah is a textbook stud.
Yeah, for real. I'm just me. I like what I like, even as far as my style.
I want to send this
And
podcast to your coworkers
why would you do that? Why?
because they
What
would
does that?
listen to every single episode.
No, they wouldn't. They try to dissect me even more than
Currently do.
they they currently do, and I try to be as transparent, but you're not talking in riddles and on like the super messy shit. But I'll tell you
Tell
my
you what you
thoughts
need to hear. You
on
just
it.
gotta be smart enough to hear it.
You just gotta get it. If you get it, and if you don't, maybe
That's a you
nah.
problem.
It
But you
just
weren't
needs a
meant
little
to
time.
know.
Yep, yep, yep. You might get it later on. You might never get it, but I did my part, and so that's that. But the T app,
One sec.
it's
I'm
just
having a little
people
fun waiting.
show it.
Sorry, my girlfriend's getting ready to leave. How long can you 5, 10 more minutes? Fair enough. Sorry, she just walked in looking like a snack. Continue. Sorry.
Okay, okay,
I'm DD tonight.
okay. That so T app, it's done its damage. I know people, even as far as the retribution that comes from it, because
And you
now
know
you
it's gonna
got,
be the worst types of men that are gonna be
oh
doing
yeah,
this shit.
everybody had their different threads of just straight news and vids and this and that. It's taking it to the next level.
Well,
And I
the other
word
thing
the
about the
one
T app is one of the things I noticed. It's mostly black and brown people utilizing and using it.
you listen to the name, it's T, and that's that term alone. You bring it up to a middle aged white woman, she's gonna be like, "Oh, is it like Earl
Like,
Grey?
listen,
Is it chamomile?" Anybody who knows that was made for a certain group. But like I said, the fallout of it, you got motherfuckers who take it into their own hands, and then you got dudes going in there seeing their girls, their wives, baby moms and stuff, and somebody else done posted they show these shit, and it's like, damn, how you get that? And so now you got super tender, soft motherfuckers, emotional dudes pissed off, embarrassed, betrayed, all of that stuff, and they go in and kill the chick. No question asked, they're just right there. I don't the statistically, I feel like there would be more domestic crimes against the women when it comes to a tell-all type of thing
oh, absolutely.
than the men. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
It's
thinking
because
about it like
it's
that,
the power dynamic. It's
right?
literally
No, and so you think about it like that. Now you're potentially putting yourself in danger, in harm's way, in a sense, because like I said, it's basically a T app, but you don't gotta download it from a store. You just gotta pay somebody $20 to
in
the
people's
link,
business. Yeah.
and then what? So I think that the unknown just scares people to the point where they feel like just the unknown, it scares them. They don't know what to do, and then even the more that they know, now what do you do with this info? Were you even prepared to even know it? Be careful what you ask for,
Yeah, be careful
type of
what you
thing,
wish for type shit.
because there's something that comes with it too. So I think both sides are getting hell right now. I think
People are
honestly
in
the
for a doozy.
females are taking the bigger L just off of the fact of like I said,
And
just
their
the data
actual
breach.
addresses and personal information has been doxed. And listen,
Yeah,
the women are not going to go to a completely unrelated man's address that was posted on the app and try to like, brutalize them. The men will. That I think is big fundamental difference.
exactly. So it's just a crazy place for that. And yeah, I'm just glad that here's the thing, like even if I was on that shit, I feel like the women would have nice things to say. Um,
Not
for the
always,
most
but I'm sure that they would have some. Granted, if you're on that T
depending.
app, I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks that it's the internet, so the profiles are not going to be as positive. More, I think they're going to be more negative than they are
Anyways, yeah,
positive.
it's just like reviews. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Most people are more likely to leave a bad review than to
than a
go
good
and leave a
one.
good review. Not saying that don't happen, but
No,
if you have to talk, feel like they need
I'm
to vent
sure
and get it
some
off
man
the
out there said he was very respectful. He communicated boundaries. He made me come and he paid for my Uber home. 7 out of 10 date.
right.
You know,
Right.
I'm sure
You know what I mean?
I wouldn't be surprised
It's
if
not
something
bad
like
for
that happened.
everybody.
No,
It's not bad for everybody. Those that it is bad for, they know exactly who they are and exactly why that is,
yep,
and
and it's their own fault.
that's it. So that is funny though. It is. It's
It is
funny
very funny.
also, our bro at work, he came up to me on Friday actually, and he was like, "Yo, take a selfie real quick." And I was like, "Why?" I'm doing it, but I'm asking him why, and he was like, "Oh, for that T app, John, nigga, bro. They going like, what the fuck would I need to be
Like
looking in there for?
you are the
You know
most.
what I mean?"
You have no presence when you get up to shit. Nobody knows. You don't tell nobody.
Yeah,
Like,
but even as far as like you're a girl, but like, does it look like I would have a man's on that app that I'm trying to look for? You know what I mean?
more like I'm somebody's man. Somebody would think I'm their man's. You know what I mean?
I'm obviously a double agent, bro. Like you can't like what? I was like, nah, you gotta ask somebody else because it's just the fuck.
Yeah,
What do I
just
look like?
oh Lord.
I thought that was funny. I was like, nah, bro.
I agree.
You gotta figure that.
That's a minor chortle. On a related note, probably the most unsympathetic couple in the world got caught cheating. The CEO of the multi-billionaire CEO of an AI company and the HR department head of said company got caught at a Coldplay concert, and that's been fun. I would love to see his
Yeah.
profile on the T app. What if his wife made one after?
I don't think she has to ask too many. I'm sure her inbox was already flooded with the tea
You
before
know,
she doesn't have to ask any questions.
oh dog, you know
Especially this
she's
shit is
good for a
on the
while.
no, she said, but
She's about to get
yeah, easily. Your man's is up on the jumbotron that went viral. If there's anybody else who had any dealings or involvements, any other females, you feel me? I promise you that they're coming out of the woodwork. So it'll be Me Too movement part whatever. All of them be like, "Me too. This is that." So I'm sure she has her cup overflowing with the tea. So you don't have to go looking for it. I'm sure it came right to her door. But yeah, she's good. She said
she's gonna be
that type of. And here's the thing: if you're not coming up like that, you feel me, on the T app, meaning yo, your husband is out there and we're talking like alimony, you're talking like child, like you could make bank off of this shit. If you are going through a divorce, that's when the T app will be most beneficial for you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
To
that
really catch
yeah.
this motherfucker. That's when the women are taking a dub for it, and in my opinion. If you
Here's
couldn't
the
if
thing,
you
the
couldn't
TAP
call
is
them,
still around. The TAP is still around. It's still absolutely going to be used because the benefit of it is just too valuable.
it's just like another security check. No, check off that green flag. Let me check your T app standing. All right,
What's your
boom.
Instagram look like?
That's
What's
what it's going
Facebook look
to.
like? Yeah.
It's just gonna be another one of those fucking checks. But just like anything, people are gonna find ways around something. There's the hats, the white hats, the gray hats. You're gonna
Yeah.
if enough people don't fuck with something, then they'll find a way
The
to
way to
combat
make
it.
it somebody else's problem. Because here's the thing,
Yeah.
there cannot be a male version of the T app because it's immediately just going to devolve into an app that posts revenge porn.
And that's what I mean. As far as it'll absolutely get taken to the next level. And that's what I mean. You got motherfuckers gatekeeping for links just like that, and it's crazy. But if you're going through a divorce, if you're married to a multi-billionaire, anybody, the T app is for you.
100%.
I endorsed it for you for sure. But that shit's crazy. That shit's wild. Good for her
So
though,
I
because
will say there's a part of me that's glad that my horror phase was over by the time the T app came to prominence.
But like I said, I really don't think it'll play much as big of a difference. Like, here's the thing:
Women are
they always say
like
like
people are the FBI. Every lady's got their friend
people
that's an FBI agent for good reason.
that is
And it's important to keep
exactly
people safe.
exactly. So you got that, and then you have one of those. We're talking like flag, green flag type of things. There's certain shit where it's like, oh, if a chick is like, too much into horoscopes, like red flag. If she's too
She asks you
somebody who is
for the time of
so
your time of birth. That shit.
you know what I mean? But even somebody who is so much of a sleuth as far as what you're doing, like, so much into that.
But even then, the T app is
It'll almost
hearsay. It's also hearsay.
it's also hearsay, but even that, it's filtering out, you know what I mean? It's filtering out the people who actually take hearsay at face value and don't do any other just that heavily influenced where all it takes is a few bad reviews and you'll
You're
never
done.
step foot in an establishment or never fuck with that person because they heard X, Y, and Z. Those type of people you don't have to deal with. You don't have to worry about because they're gonna do exactly that. They're just gonna take whatever somebody says and runs with it. Those people who are PIs, the private investigators who dig into. If you don't want to deal with those type of people, guess what? If your profile pops up on the T app and it's not popping off
You
how
want it
you would
to?
like, or how you think that, yeah, how you think that the women on there would want it to, then it's filtering out those type of people. So I don't think it's as bad. Everybody obviously is still going to be getting play. Everybody is still, the world will continue to go around. Do I think that it'll save some from some very unsafe people? I do. As far as the nosy people,
No, it's
you
gonna
know,
be a
just
nosy person's
getting
ass.
themselves killed.
But I do think what it will do is, and it will keep some women safe. That's not going to be the primary objective of why people use it, but you know what? As long as some people are safe, some women are spared the trauma of that. Sure.
Right.
So,
But it's like at what fucking cost, man? It's crazy.
anywho, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Psychedelic Space Cadet podcast. Mariah, is there any succinct line of wisdom you want to impart before we leave?
Nah, I think I already gave it. I said if you're going through any type of divorce, download the T app if you haven't already and get to that bag.
Yep, a fucking man. Fuck everything but the bag.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to talk to me outside of this video, outside of live streams, or just join the community and be a part of it, you can do so at himedia.gg/discord. Discord links there. We'd love to have you. And given the financial situation of the economy right now, I know this is a tall ask, but if you have the scratch to spare, please consider donating and becoming a supporter at himedia.gg/tip. All of our perks are serviced through our Discord channel, including early access videos, exclusive videos, and more. Your generosity is a blessing, and $1 a month is a boon to my mental health. Thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you, and have a great day.